Now, it was a show that filled our screens with beautiful people, lavish lifestyles and a whole load of explosive drama. But it's hard to believe that Made in Chelsea turns 10 this weekend.
Well, to help mark the anniversary, we have poured ourselves a little glass of...
Any excuse,
bubbles.
really.
Been joined by some of the show's original stars. So before we talk to them, let's take a look back at where it all began.
Oh, well, we're joined now by Made in Chelsea stars Binky, Felstead, Fredrik, Ferrier and Ollie Locke. It's so nice to see you all, it really is. I mean, I've always said on here, I'm a massive fan of the show. I've loved it right from the very beginning.
Good.
But how did it start for you, Binky? How did you first get involved in it?
I was at a gig at bar, Chelsea Cloisters, Speakeasy Bar, and Charlie, the producer, came up to me with a camera. I said, we're doing a Chelsea version of Only Wears Essex. Would you like to be involved? And I said, well, I've had a few Jaeger bombs at this point. I was like, well, absolutely, you know. So she took me outside, gave me an interview with Cheska, and then we had to go back to Channel 4 offices for another interview, and then another interview. And then we all kind of met, didn't we, at the Channel 4 offices and signed a contract, and that was it.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Ollie?
Well, Binky always says that she got me on the show. That's what you always have this dispute. I think it was from...
Well, it was Chelsea Girls. It was called Chelsea Girls.
It was called Chelsea Girls. The original, it was... So we had no idea what it was going to be called. Anyway, I worked on a nightclub door on an 80s bar called Maggie's, and I was covered in all these wonderful 80s bits, and they said, well, you look ridiculous enough. Do you want to be on the show? And I said, well, yes, probably.
And the rest is history.
What about Fredrik, then? So, because you thought initially, Fredrik, didn't you, that the idea was fairly ludicrous?
Yeah, so obviously Francis, who's one of my oldest friends, I was at Bristol University at the time, and he called me and he was like, Fred, you're never going to believe it. They want to film a show about my life and all the cool things I do. And this is coming from Francis, who I've known since I was 11. I was like, Francis, no one wants to film about your life. Like, that's just not true. Like, he's just getting more and more mad. And eventually he was like, no, you have to come to London. It's real. And eventually I came to London, and I thought I was going to go to these production sort of house, which was going to be like in a trailer park, but it was actually the Biscuit Building. And I was like, oh, wow, this is real. And then they were like, yeah, you've got long hair, you're ridiculous. Yeah, come aboard. And that's it.
And that's it. I mean, it's a big thing to do because you're young. I mean, you know, it's a gamble. I mean, I know, Binky, your family had reservations about you doing it.
They called an intervention. Is that the right word?
That'll do.
Yeah.
And, no, my mother was in the end. She said, listen, she's young. I think I just turned 20. Why not? I mean, I was a really appalling PA at a hedge fund at the time. And I didn't know what I was doing. I thought, a bit of fun. Thank God I did do it. It's you know, rest is history, like we said. It's been so much. We got so much from it.
It was a slow burner, wasn't it? It's not as if you suddenly got instant fame, because it did take a while.
I think people have started to look at The Only Way is Essex and gone, oh, this is what we really like, and who's this new traitor that's come into the world? And suddenly, it took about a year, but suddenly people started to really love the show, and it kind of, it was a slow burner, but then became huge.
And Ollie, I mean, you've shared so many moments on that programme. We saw in the clip there about you being bisexual and then later coming out as being gay. You've had your wedding on there. I mean, this is sort of a document of your whole life.
I mean, I mean, certainly coming out was interesting. That was October 2010. No, that was March 2011 that came out. And so it's been a kind of decade of that now. And I was so lucky to... And Phillip, you and I would share the same experiences of the reaction from people being wonderful and lots of support. And, that's been incredible. The wedding was a real choice because I knew there hadn't been many gay weddings on camera. And in a COVID year, in a December, let's see how wonderful. And we didn't expect it was going to get 3.5 million viewers, which was extraordinary.
That is amazing.
And Fredrik, for you, because you and Ollie still in it, do you still get out of it what you got out of it at the beginning?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a really special place in Made in Chelsea in my heart, and it's been a huge chapter for all of our lives. And I was actually speaking to sort of one of your team yesterday, and they was asking what's really nice about it. And I was saying, when people approach you and they ask for a photo or something, and you can actually just give them some time and answer some questions, and it makes them really happy. I think that's just something, that's a gift that just keeps on giving. I really, really enjoyed that side of it.
And it's series 21, Fredrik, that you've just filmed. And I think you said yesterday that you felt this has been, no offence to people that have been in it before, but this has been your favourite one to film. And you feel like for the first time you've been able to be the real you for the very first time. So why this series? And how have you managed to keep it hidden for 10 years?
I think the fact that we were all in the same house together, and, you know, this time I was just just much more sort of relaxed and was just being myself, and I wasn't getting involved in any of the madness. I had, you know, really sort of solid, genuine friendships. I had Ollie there, who obviously I'm very close with, Sophie, who I'm very close with, Miles and Julius, and I was just able to be me because I'm not, I wouldn't say a particularly dramatic guy. So I was just, felt like I was very comfortable there and got to show my real side. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
It must have been lovely, Ollie, to get everyone back together again after the sort of year that we've had. You know, everyone's stuck inside, and then suddenly you can get out again.
That was a weird situation because when we got the phone call, we were like, OK, it is the 10-year anniversary of Chelsea. How are we going to do this? We're going to stick you all in a bubble. And we were like, well, this is interesting. And so where it could have gone dilemma, there was lots of dramas, there was fabulous stuff, but we were living together for the first time. So it felt a bit Big Brother-esque in a weird way, but on a huge country estate. So it was a bit...
Well, that's all right, then.
Naturally, darling.
It did help. It was a good lockdown for us, I must admit.
That's a great quote.
Binky, I mean, congratulations, because you're having your baby very,
am.
very soon. You look amazing, obviously. But what's been lovely about this show is you've been able to dip in and out of it.
Yeah.
And actually, it's been a lovely platform for you to launch so many other areas of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this show has given us all an amazing platform to... I invest in companies I believe in. I started a business recently for new parents or parents to, you know, parents generally. And so I think it's just been amazing to have the platform to kind of do what you want with it, and it's a massive blessing as well.
Well, how, you know, sort of the time rolls on. You're looking to start a family, Ollie.
Absolutely.
And you've got
that's
Fredrik,
so
who's concentrating on his music and releasing stuff, you know. But nevertheless, Made in Chelsea continues.
Congratulations, guys.
10-year anniversary is actually on the 9th of May. And it's currently running on Mondays at 9.
Long may it continue. I gave you your BAFTA, the BAFTAs, I remember. It's like one of the highlights of my life.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.